Obviously, Bernie Sanders, big winner here. I think it's a push for Hillary Clinton. I don't think she picks up anything. I don't think she loses anything. She might lose a little. I thought it was I was bad for her. She was boring most of the time. She sounded like a politician. She got nailed on the money in politics. She got nailed on Wall Street. She wagged her finger at Wall Street. And then I was like, hey, you guys better go. Oh, is that money? Thank you. Okay. And it's exactly what happened, right? So I think that, again, Martin O'Malley, but Bernie, I think it's a big win for him. I bet his poll numbers go up. I think he surges in Iowa. Now, are they still doing those polls in the wrong way in Iowa that we were talking about earlier? Because before, Johnny and I were on a show early last week, they were talking about a poll where they only called people over 50 years old and shit like that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the way that Hillary Clinton wagged her finger at Wall Street was a little unconventional. It was more like this.
She was like,
No, it was like this, actually, I think.
cut it out. Cut it out.
So I think the biggest winner was clearly Bernie Sanders. And look, of course, in all four of us are more in favor of Bernie Sanders than Hillary Clinton or Martin O'Malley. You got to take that into account. We're super honest about that, obviously, right? But I'm saying that I think divorced from him wanting to win, right? He had the crowd in his hands. He's there laughing up a storm. He seemed like such a good guy in that sense, in how he played the crowd. And it's because he wasn't playing the crowd. He was just giving honest answers. He answered immediately because he didn't have to double talk like most politicians do, like O'Malley certainly did, and Hillary did in a lot of instances. Yeah. Now, I think that he was such a clear winner that I'm a little afraid. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because if this doesn't move the needle for him, the needle might be unmovable. Now, remember, it's just a forum. It's not a debate. It wasn't very well publicized.
It's Friday night.
It's Friday night. It's honestly on a smaller channel. I don't mean that as a diss. I think the MSNBC did a great job with it overall. I thought Rachel did a good job with it. But not a lot of people might have seen it. A lot more bigger ratings, I suspect, for the actual debates. But if they saw it and it doesn't move the needle might be unmovable. Because, I mean, I think if you're a progressive and you looked at that, you had to think Bernie Sanders' answers were much better than Hillary Clinton's answers.
This will move the needle, so relax.
Wow, bold statement by Jimmy Dore.
I think it's naturally going to move the needle less than it would have in a debate, both because a debate is a more direct contrast between the two candidates, but also because, as you say, 1/3 the people are going to end up seeing this than would have seen an actual debate, I think. I think that we might see a little bit, hopefully, the question specifically about how he would deal with problems in the African-American community, address their concerns about the criminal justice system, other problems, economic problems. I think that might help. I do still think that he was the biggest winner, and the reason was, even though I think Hillary, she got some applause, and I think that especially at the end, she was willing to show that she could joke about her hair and stuff like that. It was similar to what Bernie did about the underwear and stuff like that. Is it goes back to what I was saying about her answer on the death penalty. And I don't think that people necessarily understood exactly, maybe I didn't explain myself well, what I meant when I said that she's not talking about the death penalty as if it has anything to do with her moral values. Bernie answers quickly and with passion because these policies are tied in with his fundamental value system, how he was raised, what is right, what is wrong, who needs to be protected, who needs to be attacked. That's what drives a human. That's not what drives a politician generally. They assemble a list of positions that they have to remember because they polled well or because it's consistent with, something that they said earlier. And some of her positions are right, but she speaks about them as if they mean nothing to her.
Well, the biggest issue I had with her was not only that she sounded like a politician, but she gave a lot of vague answers. So when she was talking about the African-American community and some of the police brutality stories, and specifically that story about the 9-year-old kid who was shot and killed in Chicago recently. She talked about how it needs to stop, and she got a round of applause. And the thing that drove me crazy about that round of applause is she gave the most vague answer imaginable. Yeah, we all agree that needs to stop, but what are you going to do to stop it? It showed that she had no real, emphasis on a specific policy that we're currently doing in the United States. It's not working. She didn't really have any ideas on how to combat these issues. She just knows that these things are happening, they're bad, and she wants them to stop.
Exactly.
But you got to do something about it.
We need to look into it. We need a dialogue.
Yeah.
Dialogue. Our producer, J.R. Jackson, tweeted in the middle of the debate, same thing on the issue of African-American rights. So there's all these issues that are affecting African-Americans, and you say it's got to stop. You've got to give a more clear answer than that. Yeah, but how? How are you going to make it stop? So Bernie Sanders has specific policy issues. He says, okay, look, I want to end the for-profit prisons.
Yeah.
Very clear policy position that would help the whole country, but it would help African Americans even more so than the average American. Great. Well, that's a definitive policy position. Wagging your finger at Wall Street in 2007 apparently didn't work. Wagging your finger at an unjust system is also not going to work, right? You need to do something about it. So I think Bernie was more specific and obviously won the crowd in a lot of ways. So I think that he won. Yeah, I know. So on MSNBC, there's some jackass who's got a thing that says, "Don't believe the liberal media." It's right in the middle of Chris Matthews and Rachel Maddow. I feel bad for them because I don't mind that stupid sign, right? It's got the website. That's why I'd want to take it down.
It's got the best spot. Put one of your signs in front of it.
Why wouldn't?
Yeah.
So
No,
where
but
is
then
the
it's going to get ugly.
Where is the NBC producer who's going to goes put something in front of? What?
I don't know.
No, they're in a tough spot, man. I mean, if you're a Republican or you're Fox News, that's not a tough spot. You just go rough the guy up, smash his head into the concrete, and move him away.
Yeah.
But if you're liberals, it's a little tougher to deal with that guy, right?
Hillary
Especially
Clinton thinks we should look into that.
Yeah.
She should start a dialogue with that guy with the sign.
Yeah, if you were Trump, all you do is this. Like if you're Chris Matthews and you're Trump-like minded, you go, okay, you do that little eye motion. Somebody that means
have someone take care of
somebody
it.
go crack his head while the rest of us chant
look, they got
USA,
him out of
USA.
there.
Yeah. Oh, can I say an alternative biggest winner, possibly a second biggest winner? I think, again, it is, I hope the American people, but especially the Democratic Party, because, again, compare this to the last 3 now Republican debates. I mean, look, we can debate Hillary versus Bernie, but when you look at the overall suite of candidates that the Democrats have against any of the leading Republicans, it's a clown car over there. And Hillary was vague, but she's still going to come out on the right side far more often than a Mike Huckabee or a Ted Cruz or whoever. They're not proposing tax systems based off of books that were written 3,000 years ago by shepherds. You know, they believe in science largely. They don't think that we should put a ceiling over the entire country. Like, they are far more reasonable, even if they're vague, even if they're creepy, and even if they're blind.
Look, we're on the right side, but Americans love the circus, okay, which is why the Republican Party is getting the attention that it's getting right now, right? So, look, they opened this forum with Martin O'Malley, and I wanted to fall asleep. I don't know how many people continue tuning in to hear what Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton had to say.
Point.
It's also Friday night, so let's keep it real. We love politics. Of course, we're going to focus on this on a Friday night. The majority of Americans probably not going to want to watch this on a Friday night.